Hello and welcome to Biofilm News. My name is Pavel. This is the channel where I break down the recent news from the healthcare, pharmaceutical industry, and life science research. So today I'd like to talk about life science research and specifically what it means research and what it means science, because I realized that there is a big difference and big, I think, misunderstanding, which I was guilty of myself, between science and research. So allow me to spend a couple of minutes to really break it down as I was going it through my mind and I was trying to understand, is there even a difference between science and research, and what does that even mean? Now, the way I think of it, science is in fact a collection of knowledge that humanity accumulates over time about some events that occur in nature. For example, on a molecular level, we understand how molecules interact with one another, or how cells form tissues and how organs function. So all of that I would consider science, right? All those different facts that humans have collected over many years and used scientific method to sort of prove whether or not certain observations that they have actually hold true. And I think that is where people start to confuse this with the term research. The way I think of research, and first of all, a disclaimer, I am a graduate student, so I'm currently working on my PhD in biomedical sciences. So I would actually consider myself a researcher to an extent, at least, right? So research, I think of it as more of a profession rather than knowledge. And that makes sense, doesn't it? Research is basically what you're doing, what I'm doing day to day. I am basically setting up experiments to prove a hypothesis that I have initially established. I gather my results, I analyze them, and I make a conclusion. Research implies using scientific method to make scientific discoveries. However, I think there is a dramatic misunderstanding when it comes to what research and science mean. They are not interchangeable because, as I mentioned, science and, for example, scientist is not really a profession. Researcher, on the other hand, is a profession because researcher is the person who carries out scientific experiments, who tries to obtain new knowledge and to advance the field of science. However, a scientist is just a person that knows a lot about science, knows a lot about certain events that occur in nature, and has a deep understanding of what they mean and how they may have been discovered, or how are they connected with each other, and so on and so forth. But the researcher is in fact a profession. On a personal note, it's very important for me to share this because of the fact that I, for a long time, had the misunderstanding that these two things are equal. And I was always passionate about science. In fact, I took all these biology, chemistry, physics classes in my undergraduate studies, and I've learned to like and to appreciate science, all these facts, and I was always very curious about them. However, when I have started working on my PhD, I've come to realize that just being curious about something doesn't mean that you are really good at discovering it. It doesn't mean that you're going to be a good researcher. A researcher is someone who likes to do research, who likes to set up experiments, who likes to discover new things, and has a sort of professional expertise in how to do it correctly, efficiently, and maybe repetitively, right? But the scientist doesn't necessarily mean is going to make a good researcher. So for all of you who are very passionate about sciences, who are curious and want to learn more, the take-home message is, if a scientist has a desire to do experiments themselves, if a scientist wants to bring knowledge to, scientific community, to people out there in the world, maybe the word researcher would also apply to them, but it is a skill, it is a profession that needs to be learned and taught, unlike being a scientist, which is just knowing about all those sort of scientific facts. So I hope that this video at least helps some of you who are maybe not sure whether or not they want to do research. So this hopefully clarifies a little bit the big difference that I've come to realize a little bit too late, I think, between what it means to be a scientist versus what it means to be a researcher. So I hope you guys have liked this video. Please share it and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.